Yankee. 11. And Peter Mahone is 3. Okay.
We are going out live, but I don't have your microphones. I'm just using since nothing's going. You want to start? If you guys want to get going, have some pregame stuff talk. You know about how much. Do they look like they're about ready to go?
Yeah, let's start.
All right.
Can you hear me, Brett?
I can't go.
Hang on.
Can you hear me okay?
Hang on.
There we go.
Okay, welcome to Hopkinton High School, the turf complex for tonight's TVL large matchup between the Hillers and their rival, the Holliston Panthers. My name is Steve Simos. I'm joined tonight by my longtime teaching and coaching colleague, Brett Mulvey. Welcome, Brett.
Thank you for having me, Coach. Beautiful day to be here at a baseball game, and I'm honored to sit by you and watch a spirited matchup today between the Panthers and the Hillers.
So Brett and I are going to apologize in advance. This is our first attempt at play-by-play. We'll be filling in for the dulcet tones of Tom Nappy, so you'll have to bear with us as we muddle our way through.
And, Coach, this is what a game to make our debut on, because this is a big matchup between the Hillers and the Panthers, because this not only has league ramifications, but, of course, consequences for the state tournament as well.
Yeah, I was looking at that today, and the TVL large, talking to the coaches, it's crazy how close things are. Hopkinton goes into this game 10-5 overall. They're 8-5 in the league. Holliston 12-6 overall, but has a stranglehold on the league right now at 11-2. What's interesting is in looking at the state power rankings, it's different than it used to be. They have the power rankings. Both Holliston and Hopkinton are in Division II, Massachusetts. One big state, no more sectional titles. And Holliston is ranked 9th, while Hopkinton, even though 3 games behind Holliston in the TVL standings, Hopkinton is ranked 5th. They're 4 spots higher than them in the power rankings.
Wow, that sure is a change from the days back that I remember about the Tri-Valley League, Coach.
Yeah, everything used to be purely record. Now it does. It goes a lot by how you fared against non-league opponents. Both of these teams have done it the right way, in my opinion. They have scheduled really, really strong non-league opponents. And we were joking a minute ago, every time Zavarian, who just won the Catholic Conference, traditionally the best conference in the state, every time they win a game, Hopkinton seems to escalate in the state rankings because you get points for the victories of Division I teams. Holliston hasn't fared as well out of league, but they've played really top-notch opponents. So scheduling really, really does help you. And the Tri-Valley League also helps this year because it's such a strong league. Norwood is in last place right now, and even they are at 500 at 7-7. So we expect a really good one tonight. The rematch of their first game over in Holliston was a great game. I was able to see that one, and Hopkinton came back for a late inning victory. So Brett, you've been around Hopkinton a really long time, but we were talking today, and you have a history in the Tri-Valley League as well.
Yeah, Coach. I had the pleasure of being able to play baseball for the Bellingham Blackhawks back during the Reagan administration, and I had the great pleasure to play under one of my baseball mentors, Coach Jimmy Bonolo, who I know you're familiar with, and I also got to play with 2 of Bellingham's coaches today, Coach Houston over in Bellingham, and of course Coach Chaponi, who you know very well.
So we'll be Holliston's taking the field right now for their pregame, and we'll certainly talk a little bit about the Tri-Valley League. I did get a chance when I was a younger coach to in the early 90s to coach against Coach Bonolo. Different style back then of the coaches than we have today, out of necessity.
Sure was.
Yeah, and we'd be remiss to not mention the legendary coach from Holliston, who also was very helpful to me when I started out, Harvey Krupnik. He's a Hall of Famer. You knew Coach Krupnik,
Yeah,
right?
Coach Krupnik. We had some real drag down battles against the Panthers back in the day. They have always been a quality baseball program, and of course, back under Coach Krupnik, they were top notch, high quality, and he had some real strong clubs and a lot of Tri Valley League champions, and a lot of good baseball players came out of his programs.
So I know, Brett, you've been teaching. We've been teaching together for 30 years. U.S. history. I teach government, and I know you're often bragging about being a Bellingham Blackhawk and talking about how you used to dominate the Hillers. Those days have changed a little bit.
Yeah, sure have. I remember we actually, the field right up above us is the very last high school baseball game I got to play in. We needed one more game to qualify for the state tournament back then, and we played the Hillers up on the top field that I know you've had a lot of good memories on, and we lost. We lost a very close game at the end of the game, and we did not make the state tournament. Little did I know that years later I'd be teaching at that high school and announcing a game, certainly with you here at the Hiller Field, the very team that knocked us out of the state tournament, a chance to be in the state tournament my senior year of baseball. But yeah, the Hillers were a lot different back then, and I know that you and I have talked about before. Certainly, I know that you have some stories back from your day that the Hillers probably a little bit different today as far as equipment and this wonderful field that we're looking at, and the lights and the dugouts and everything else, because I know you had some different experiences way back when you started 30 years ago taking over the helm of the Hiller ball clubs.
Yeah, the biggest difference, obviously, is this field. They're playing on carpet, and we used to have to worry about every drop of rain up on field two. But like you said, a lot of great memories up there. A lot of great ball players came through. I think we were alluding to the late, great Aubrey Doyle hired me, and he thought I should have been very, very flattered that he gave me about a half a dozen balls to get the season going. Now, from those early memories, I still have probably about 7 dozen new fresh baseballs stored in my classroom just in case for a rainy day.
Yeah, I do remember Aubrey Doyle. What a good guy, and I didn't have the pleasure to coach underneath him, but I did actually teach one of my first classes in his old math room. Nice guy.
Yeah. So as Holliston concludes their pregame warm-ups, we're going to take a break, and we'll be back with the starting lineups in a few minutes.
Well, that's not nice. Hey, if you put that live on the air, we might be up for a Grammy. What do they? What's the? It's not a Grammy, right? What's the TV or what? Huh? Yeah.
Okay, so welcome back to Hopkinton, and we will go through the starting lineups right now for the visiting Holliston Panthers. Let me get this straight. As soon as I find out where I wrote down those things. For the visiting Holliston Panthers, leading off and playing center field will be number 6, Andrew Dennison. Nick Larsh will bat in the second hole. He'll play third base. He's number 12. Batting third will be Brad Andriola at center field and number 2. Number 22, Owen McCarron, will play right field and bat cleanup. Joey Gentile will be the catcher, and he's number 9, and he will catch in the 5 hole. Excuse me. T.J. Kiley is the shortstop. He will wear number 5 and bat in the 6 hole. Hitting 7th, Teddy Peters at EH, and Teddy is number 16. Number 14, Max Israel will bat 8th and play first base. Sam Schoenberg will be the second baseman, number 1, and bat 9th. His brother, Jake Schoenberg, will be on the mound today for Holliston. He is number 8, and he will be hit for, and he'll be on the mound. For Hopkinton, leading off will be second baseman Joe Carrazza, number 22. Batting second, Charlie Petruni, the center fielder. He's number 2. Number 10, Mitch Simulus, will DH and bat third. His brother, Charlie Simulus, will play first base, and he's number 14. Connor Hallenbach will be in right field. Connor is a co-captain along with Joe Carrazza, a tri-captain. He's number 12. Dylan Ruff will play short and bat sixth. He's number 21. Senior Lenny Onken will play left field. Lenny is number 8. And batting eighth, Will Morgan, the third baseman, number 17. Pitching for the Hillers and hitting in the 9 hole will be the third tri-captain, number 11, Frank Pedisano. And catching, being DH'd for tonight, number 3, Peter Mahone. Tonight's umpire is a very prominent figure around Hopkinton. He is Mike Whalen. Mike is in his 27th year of doing Tri-Valley League games and local high school baseball. He served in the United States Marines from 1968 to 1971. Self-employed Mason, lifetime Hopkintonian, and really active in local Veterans Affairs. Just a great person. Brett, I think you had, Susie and Sarah, his two daughters in class?
Yes, I did. Years ago, very nice young ladies, and I do remember them very well.
Okay. So we're almost ready to begin here with the Hillers getting set to take the field. Before the game, I think Brett had an opportunity to speak with both coaches. And first of all, we talked to Hopkinton head coach Matt Anderson and asked him what he thought the keys to winning would be.
Well, Coach, when you talk to Coach Anderson, I believe Matt, who we also had in class, the Anderson family, Coach Anderson talked about, of course, slowing down the running game, keep the Panthers off the base as much as possible, of course, slow down their running game, keep the game close. And he talked about making the Panthers make as many plays as possible, make them make the plays to stop the Hillers.
It was really interesting because there wasn't much of a difference when I got a chance to go over and talk to Coach Santos, because his biggest concern was the defense. I guess they had 7 errors yesterday in a loss, having come off 8 straight victories. They lost a very close game to Westwood, based mostly on 7 defensive errors. So
wow.
While Hopkinton wants Holliston to make plays, there's a reason for that. It's been a relative weakness for Holliston. They don't have too many weaknesses in this team, but infield defense has been a problem throughout the year, and Hopkinton wants to put the ball in play and put some pressure on them. Over on the other side, we had a chance to talk to Coach Santos and asked him what he thought his keys to the game would be, and he basically said,
That he wanted his team to, of course, like you mentioned, the 7 errors in their previous game, that the team needed to play a really solid, strong defense and limit the danger, limit the limit the damage. Of course, once the Hillers get rolling, it's awful hard to stop them. Good hitting ball club.
Yeah, it's a common phrase for coaches that we preach: limiting damage, meaning if a team's meant to get a run, let them get a run. Don't turn one run into 2 or 3 by hitting cutoff men and not making the ball roll around, do the things you're supposed to do. So we should see an outstanding pitching matchup tonight between Jake Schoenberg, who is just recently committed to play Division II college baseball at St. Anselm College.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's a hard thrower, great kid, great family. He has a younger brother who you see in the lineup today. He was only a sophomore.
Oh,
very
congratulations
talented.
to him. That's tremendous.
Yeah, so it's a great thing, and we'll talk about it during the game. But there's a couple of players that have their eye on St. Anselm. Another who's already committed. For Hopkinton, they're going to a trusted senior tri-captain, Frank Pedisano. So he's been rock solid for them, and will sports a 1.70 ERA at this point in 24 innings pitched. Frank's 4-1. So on paper, this should be a well-pitched game, and we'll see, because it is baseball, and you never know.
That's true.
It's not played on paper.
All right, looks like we're about to get ready, Coach.
So the Hillers are taking the field. They are wearing their white tops, white bottoms, green numbers. We have the green hats with the orange brim. I'm not overly fond of the orange, but Coach Anderson wanted to bring that into the fold.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of the orange myself either, Coach. I'm kind of like you. I like the old traditional green and white of the Hillers, but
it is the Dodgers pattern. They have that small little orange on the below the lettering, which is styled after the Los Angeles Dodgers classic uniforms. They have the high pants and the high stirrups. They look sharp.
Yep, they do look sharp.
Holliston, on the other hand, has red tops, white bottoms with white pinstripes. They have white numbers outlined in black, and they have a white and red cap. So, interesting sidelight to this game is the two coaches. Matt Anderson is in his first year as head coach of Hopkinton. He's been a long time pitching coach under the old decrepit coach that they had prior. And what's really kind of fun about this game is one of his very best friends in the world, Joe Santos, is coaching on in the opposing dugout. Joe,
I did not know. I didn't know they were friends. Wow.
Yeah, Joe is actually an employee of Matt's at the Anderson baseball facility, and they are two of the good people in the sport. Not only are they very well coached, they're as old school as you can be in the modern world in terms of structure and discipline and adherence to fundamentals. So you're going to see two teams that do it the right way. They don't do a lot of chirping. They just play the game really hard. So here's Frankie's last warm-up pitch to Peter Mahone. Who throws a strike, and we're ready to get underway.
And, of course, once you see Coach Zach take those balls from the outfield and saunter back to the dugout, you know it's time to go.
That is it. He is our key. So leading off for the Panthers is number 6, Andrew Dennison. I will give you a little personal anecdote. Andrew is the person that worried me the most in years past facing Holliston. He's a table setter, incredible speed. First pitch is up, fastball, 1-0. Ground ball to the right side. Nice play by Joe Carrazza. He flips to first. And you see right there how quickly Andrew Dennison got down the line, made a close play out of a routine ground ball. Andrew, by the way, is hitting .434 going into the game. Now batting, despite the fact that Coach Santos is blocking our view, is their third baseman, number 12, Nick Larsh.
Now, before the game, Coach Anderson had mentioned you, Coach, to us that the Panthers seem to be very heavily loaded with left-handed batters.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this is the top of their lineup in terms of production. Nick Larsh is hitting .509.
That's pretty good, huh?
Not too bad. So talking to Coach earlier in the year, he considers Nick the best hitter in the Tri-Valley League.
Really?
Numbers kind of point that out. He's .509. He has 22 RBIs. And right now, I believe it's 0-2. Relatively deep fly ball. Sun issue. Connor Hollenbach camps under it, and 2 away. Great start for Frank Pedisano. Those are the two guys that give you fits, and to retire them is a great way to start for the Hillers. Now batting for the Panthers. Again, I got to figure out a way to find this lineup. Is Brad Andriola. He's a center fielder, number 2. First pitch by Frank is high. Frank's velocity clearly improved from a year ago. But the best thing about Frank is his composure, his leadership. Never going to get flustered, just a high-character kid.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to have Frank in class last year, and just every day, all-quality person every day. He was a leader in the classroom and just a tremendous young man.
So high fastball by Frank, fouled straight back by Brad Andriola. The count sits at 1-1. Again, fights off the fastball. 1-2. So Frank's staying ahead. The third baseman, Will Morgan, getting a rare start. Had his first start last night. He's backing up at third. Big moment for him. Ooh. So an 0-2 curveball. Unfortunately gets away from Frank. Hits Brad in the posterior. And we have 1 runner on. So there's 2 outs with a runner on first, and the batter is Owen McCarron. And Owen is the gentleman we'll talk about quite a bit tonight. Big left-handed hitter, and also committed to play at St. Anselm's. I've gotten an opportunity to get to know Owen, working with him and working with some of the Holliston players over the last couple of years. Just a gentleman, big, strong left-handed hitter. You can see Hopkinton playing very, very deep, trying to protect. Coach is yelling out no doubles. Runner breaks. Throw by Peter Mahone. Good throw, just a little on the inside of the bag. And Brad Andriola is safe at second. So a runner in scoring position now for Owen McCarron. Sometimes you get your 3-hitter who's hitting 152, and you have your 4-hitter who's hitting 216, and that can be unbelievably deceiving because coaches know where to put kids in the lineup. Great curveball down by Frankie Pedisano. And the count now sits at 1-1. Inside move by Frank. Forces Andriola back to the bag. Coach Anderson certainly wanting Frank to give all his attention to Owen McCarron. One advantage we have here is that base is open. One of the better hitters in the Tri-Valley League. I'm sure Frank is not going to give in to him. Again, another off-speed pitch. Not a kind of kid you want to challenge with a fastball. Count sits at 2-1. Normally would be a fastball count, but I'm not overly convinced he's going to challenge Owen McCarron. And another off-speed pitch, bounce, and hits Owen McCarron in the knee. So there's runners on first and second with 2 outs, and not the worst thing in the world. Very dangerous. Still gives you an opportunity here with the number 5 hitter, Joey Gentile. Joey's the catcher, number 9, and he's hitting 300 on the year. Another good athlete. Joey's going to be attending Catholic University and playing football. That is the third consecutive hit by pitch by Frank. Typically a hallmark of Hopkinton Hiller baseball. A couple of years ago, actually several years ago now, I remember it well because it was the day of my older son's graduation from high school. Much to my wife's chagrin, I missed the beginning of the party because we had a game against Holliston. And we were hit by 13 pitches that day.
Wow.
Yeah. And as a coach, I didn't mind it at all. You
Yeah.
know, it did not, one of those pitches hurt me.
Now, Coach, when Coach Anderson just went out to the mound, what would he be saying to Frank?
Yeah, because it's Frank, he didn't say much. You know, he barely got out there and turned around, and he said to basically, my guess would be, no damage done yet. You know, it's you against TJ Kiley. It's a one-on-one matchup. You can still get out of this inning with no damage. So with the bases loaded for TJ Kiley, and a lot to say about TJ's hitting 309, but the arrow is up on TJ. Coach Santos says the hottest hitter in their lineup right now. Fastball delivered into left. One hop, Lenny Otkin comes in, hits his cutoff man, and it's a first pitch RBI single for TJ Kiley driving in the run. Exactly what TJ is supposed to do. Hit it where it's pitched. Quality athlete, starting quarterback for the last several years at Holliston High School, and he's going to be a two-sport athlete at Westfield State come the fall. So now batting, number 16, Teddy Peters. He's the EH tonight, and he has the bases loaded with 2 outs. Fastball by Frank, swung and missed by Teddy Peters. This is exactly what Coach Santos was talking about, and you see the bullpen getting active for the Hillers because you don't want this to turn into a big inning. If you can limit damage, get out of this with 1 run, no harm done. Another fastball by Frank. He challenged, fouled away by Teddy Peters, and the count sits now at 0-2. Here's where you got to trust your catcher, Coach. You got to be willing to throw this ball in the dirt. You got a good defensive catcher in Peter Mahone. You want to force Teddy Peters to be patient. So they decided to climb the ladder. That's a good job there by Teddy Peters, fouling that off. Peter Mahone, as you saw, gave a high target, and Frankie hit his spot. So if the baseball book is followed here, you're going to see a off-speed, low and away curveball to try to change Teddy's eye level. I'm not really sure what that was. Could have been a curveball that stayed up, but I'm not sure. And the count sits now at 1-2. Always fascinating to see. Are you willing to throw a ball down? Are you willing to throw it in the dirt and trust your catcher with a runner on third? That's it. He threw a strike. Dead center field. Charlie Petruni camped under it. And third out. You got to be very happy if you're the Hillers right there with the bases loaded. Single by TJ Kiley, and they get out of it relatively unscathed with 1 run. So at the end of half inning of play, the score is Holliston High School 1, and the Hillers coming to bat. We'll be back in a minute. So we're back for the bottom of the first inning. Jake Schoenberg taking his final warm-ups. You could see on the the third base line, the Hopkinton team all out timing Jake's delivery to the plate. It's kind of a hallmark of Hopkinton baseball. Take as many opportunities as possible to get your timing on the pitcher. We notice a change from earlier in the year in the third base coaching box. I tried to drum up some controversy because you and I, Coach, we expected a different face there.
Where is Coach Zach?
I know. So we got Coach Anderson, and I was trying to suggest that maybe there was dissension in the coaching staff.
Yeah.
But, they didn't take the bait.
No. Well,
Coach Anderson said he's just a little bit too fidgety to stay in the dugout, and been reprimanded by coaches for wandering too much, so he's put himself out on the field.
yeah, Coach Zach has a couple of times tried to make plays actually on the field, so he does have the quickness of a puma.
He really does, and the physique of not a puma. First pitch is off speed to Joe Carrazza, and he flails at that one. It's 0-1. And again, back-to-back curveballs. He doubled it up. Everything Jake throws is relatively hard. He's got a really good slider, very, very good fastball. He's a mid-80s pitcher, which is great for the Tri-Valley League. 0-2 to Joe. Another curveball down, and yes, he did. So that's 3 sliders and 3 strikes. It's nobody on and 1 out for the Hillers, and coming to the plate now is Charlie Petruni. Coach Anderson, just like Coach Santos, is perfectly lining himself up to obstruct my view.
Yes, I saw that.
There's your first fastball by Jake Schoenberg. Jake's a real bulldog on the mound, a real competitor. Forces a pop-up directly, fields his position. Jake catches it, and after 5 pitches, 2 outs for the Hillers, and the batter now Mitch Simulus. Mitch has had a great year his sophomore year. He's one of 3 really heavily contributing sophomores. He's hitting .372 on the year and a .548 on-base percentage. Again, he starts him off with a slider, 0-1. The delivery. Again, an off-speed pitch, dribble to the right side. Schoenberg hops off the mound, throws a strike to first. A great play, athletic play by Jake Schoenberg, and it's 3 up, 3 down on 7 pitches. So a perfect start for Holliston, who clearly wanted to limit damage and got through the best part of the Hiller order unscathed. We'll be back in a minute for the top of the second. Okay, we are back for the top of the second inning. And it's 1-0 Holliston. I guess the key right now is that was a 7-inning. One of the things you want to do is really force a quality pitcher like Schoenberg to work. And 7 pitches is not forcing him to work very hard. Frankie, on the other hand, threw 20 in the first inning. He's looking to have a quicker inning. So leading off for the Panthers is number 14, the first baseman, Max Israel. Just ended the inning with a nice play, keeping his foot on the bag on a comebacker to the pitcher. High fastball, and the count runs to 2-0 on Max Israel. Coach Santos really praised Max, who's a senior, and real one of those utility guys that fills in the infield and the outfield. He's more of a glue guy than anything else. Fastball by Frank. Seemed up and away, 3-0. Now it's time to challenge. Got the tail end of the order. You want to make these kids swing their way on. Kick by Frank. Low, and that's ball 4. So a 4-pitch walk to start the first inning. And that brings up the number 9 hitter, Sam Schoenberg. Sam, the younger brother of starting pitcher Jake, is also a key part of the Holliston pitching staff, playing second base today. Very smooth. Had the opportunity to work with him in an infield camp. He's got a bright future. The delivery, attempted bunt. Peter Mahone jumps on it, a foul ball.
What grade did you say he was in, Coach? The hitter?
He is a sophomore. Yeah.
I think I remember watching one of your games last year. I remember him coming in to pitch late in one of your games, I believe.
And you remember him by his distinct haircut.
Yes. Yes.
I often compliment Sam on his flowing locks. So it's 0-1. Frankie checks the runner back safely. Holliston has the tradition when runners dive back, they immediately get up and flash the outs to their third base coach to show that they're into the game. The delivery, line drive down the right field line. That could get into the corner. Runner, ball kicks off, and Coach Santos holds the runner at third. Nobody out, no need to take a chance. Double by Sam Schoenberg. And runners are now on second and third with nobody out and the top of the order. So a difficult situation here. Let's see what Coach Anderson decides to do with the infield. We have Andrew Dennison leading off here in the leadoff position with 2 runners in scoring position. So middle infield, infielders are back except for the third baseman. Ground ball to shortstop. Checks the runner third, throws across. Oh, bang, bang play. That shows you right there the speed of Andrew Dennison.
Yeah, he really made some time down that line, Coach.
Dylan Ruff, outstanding shortstop with a good throwing arm. Came hard for the ball, threw a strike to first, and just beat him on a bang-bang play. So that's an RBI ground out for Andrew Dennison. Brings up their leading hitter, Nick Larsh. Runner on third with less than 2 outs. Great position for Nick Larsh to extend on a season where he already has 20-plus RBIs. The delivery to Nick. Peter fakes the runner back. Sam dives back into third. Peter Mahone, very active behind the plate, loves to throw the baseball. Loves to throw the baseball. When he threw strikes, I was very happy. When he threw it away, I was very upset. So the count now to Nick Larsh is 1-0. Off-speed pitch to Nick, 2-0. This is a situation here, the more you get concerned with that runner on third, the more you're apt to give in to the hitter at the plate. You almost want to concede that run and attack the hitter. Great pitch by Frankie down. Dribbler back to the mound. He checks the runner, throws to first. Perfect situation right there. We now have 2 outs. Runner is still on second. Defense will be back. And an opportunity here to go after Brad Andriola. So it's 3-0 Holliston. Runner on third. 2 outs. Brad Andriola, the hitter. Interesting here, Coach. The third baseman is in, even though there's 2 outs. Probably respect for the ability of Brad Andriola to bunt and run.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that the third baseman was the only one in.
Delivery by Frank. Fouled off to the right side. I had to check the outs. He's so far in, I had to check the outs to see if there were 2. So the count now sits at 1-1. Brad Andriola. Frank throwing out at a stretch, keeping an eye on Sam Schoenberg. The delivery, a fastball, swing and a miss.
Yeah, it's a nice pitch by Frankie.
Probably the best velocity we've seen so far.
Had some pop on that.
So 1-2. Again, another situation with a runner on third. This is where you really like having a quality catcher. The delivery, fastball up, taken by Andriola. The count runs to 2-2. Owen McCarron sitting on deck. You have to make your pitch here. This is the guy you want to attack. You don't want to go to a first and third situation with a power hitter coming up. Again, up and away. Count runs full. Now you'll see Will Morgan back up. This payoff pitch is key. Not only for the runner on third, but to keep Owen McCarron potentially in the leadoff spot for next inning. Frank comes set. Fastball popped up. Did his job. Dylan Ruff calling everyone off. And again, a pretty good job right there of limiting damage. But Holliston extends the lead. And at the end of, I think I had a lot of that wrong. At the end of 2 innings of play, the score is 2-0 Holliston. So all in all, I think Frank's got to be really happy with limiting the damage. I apologize to him for giving away that third run, but I forgot they had held that runner. We'll be back in a minute for the Hillers' bottom half of the second. So Jake Schoenberg completes his warm-up pitches and stepping to the plate for the Hillers, number 14 senior Charlie Simulus. Charlie having a tremendous year for the Hillers. In addition to his hitting, he's been basically the ace for the staff. A huge win last night, a quality start against Norwood. He's really held the staff together. He's hitting .372 and leads the team with 11 RBI. Fastball by Schoenberg was a good one. Swing and a miss by Charlie, and it's 0-1. Another fastball going right after him. Swing and a miss by Charlie. 0-2. They got to get Jake out of his rhythm. It's 9 pitches and really rolling right now. Curveball taken for strike 3. He's in a groove right now. Somebody's got to step up, try to mix things up a little bit. And the batter right now is Connor Hallenbach, one of the co-captains. Connor hitting .341 in the season. Was a starter last year. Really, really dependable right fielder. Coach Anderson was telling me yesterday that they put the high character non-complainer in right field because of the sun battles.
There we go.
Got a line drive signal for Connor Hollenbach to get things going. Finally, something to break it up, get Jake out of his rhythm. And it brings up shortstop Dylan Ruff, who's had an outstanding year. Another of the sophomores, hitting .341 in his sophomore year and been stellar at short all year. So we have a runner on first with one out. Dylan Ruff at the plate. Quick to the plate. Low in the dirt, ball one. It's 1-0. Going to be very difficult to run on Jake. He has a slide step, is very, very, very quick to the plate. Gives his catcher an opportunity. Ball two. Amazing what that hit can do. You get a runner on base, force him out of the stretch. You probably didn't like throwing out of the stretch as much as a wine, did you?
I usually after the first hitter, I only threw out of the stretch.
So you had a lot of practice.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, maybe you were a little better at it than you might have been otherwise.
I was excellent at the stretch.
Curveball by Jake. That shows a little respect for Dylan Ruff. And that's ball four. So runner, and things change quickly here with Lenny Onken coming to the plate. Runners on first and second, one out. Senior left-handed hitter. Lenny's been a spot starter. He's got a .385 OBP, good left-handed batter. He threw that ball by Lenny. It's 0-1. It's interesting to see the cat and mouse with these two coaches that have coached together for years and they know each other so well. It's kind of hard to fool each other with pickoff moves and styles at second base.
Sure, they probably talk baseball all the time, I'm guessing.
The delivery high. Clearly, Jake not as proficient out of the stretch as you once were.
No. Of course, when I pitched out of the stretch, I also suffered from whiplash.
2-0. Fastball chopped down the first, moves the runner, steps on first, throws to second. Good play by T.J. Kiley to keep the ball in front. So Lenny gets the runners over, but there are two outs now. Second and third, really big spot for Will Morgan. Will Morgan coming off his first start of the year last night, getting another opportunity here. Filling in for the injured Joe Scardino. The delivery swing, that's right up on us, Coach. Third baseman Nick Larsh coming over. Oh, hits off the heel of his glove and falls. There's a big break for the Hillers right there. I don't think the sun played it. I just think it caught him on the heel.
Yep. Hit here could put the Hillers right back in it, huh, Coach?
Yeah, it's a great feeling for for a hitter. He ran hard down the first, got new life. It's now 0-1 to Will Morgan with two runners in scoring position. Curveball down. Looks like Will saw that well. Count is 1-1. As I was saying, a great opportunity there to take advantage of a quality catcher. Fastball down at the knees for a strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Great jump at second with 2 outs. The delivery down in the dirt. Another great scoop. Very confident Joey Gentile. I apologize to the Gentile family. The delivery. Another curveball fouled off by Will Morgan. So the count holds at 2-2. Runners on second and third. Hillers trailing by 2. No matter how this turns out, it's a good quality at bat already by Will Morgan. Fastball again swung on. It's on the line, gets over to the fence. First baseman Max Israel, and the ball is out of play.
Pretty good battle here, Coach.
Yeah, very good. Number 8 hitter. It's only had 1 start on the year. Last night he comes in and gets a quality. Scored the winning run last night against Norwood in frigid temperatures.
Yeah.
Curveball. Backed up on Jake. Stayed inside, and it's a full count. So I'm pretty confident Will Morgan's going to gear up for Jake's best fastball here. It's mano a mano. The kick, the fastball, swing and a miss. Oh, I'm sorry. Swing and fouls it straight back. What a great at-bat.
Yeah.
Just one at-bat changes the complexion of the game as the pitch count for Jake Schoenberg. 7 in the first inning. He's up to 28 now.
Wow. Hillers are making him work.
What a great at-bat. Tips off. Ball goes. Oh, that's a Schoenberg to Schoenberg.
Wow. 2 brothers, huh?
Yeah, so he has a quality at-bat, hits a laser beam up the middle, knocked down by Jake Schoenberg, tipped over to his brother Sammy for a very common 1-4-3 putout. So at the end of 2 innings of play, the score sits Holliston 2 and Hopkinton nothing. So Frank Pedisano takes the hill for the top of the 3rd inning, and he'll be facing leadoff hitter this inning, the cleanup hitter, Owen McCarron. Frank's going to Bentley. You had Frank in class, right?
I did. I had Frank, and I had his older sister. And Frank is, as I mentioned, is a really tremendous young man. I'm sure great things await him in life.
And a great student. Bentley's an outstanding business institution. He'll do well there.
Yeah.
So Frank's out of the wind. Delivers to Owen McCarron a fastball. Big swing and a miss by Owen. You could see they're very happy. Owen leads the team with 3 home runs, but he hit a big one yesterday against Westwood in a loss. And Coach Santos is really hoping this hot streak he's on stays with him. Fastball away. The count runs to 1-1 on Owen McCarron. Shows you the respect there. Curveball in the 1-1 count in the dirt. Blocked by Peter Mahone. The count runs to 2-1. So things have evened off a little in terms of pitch count.
Yeah.
Great job by the Hillers, even though they didn't score to run up Schoenberg's count. High fly ball. That's a college fly ball right there. The right fielder, Connor Hallenbeck, camps under it, and that's 1 away. Big out right there for Frankie, who settled in as we suspected he would. And now up for Holliston is the catcher, Joey Gentile. Right-handed hitter, as I was saying, a football player for the high fly ball foul up and over our heads. You going to make a play on that?
I had my glove, Coach. I was all over that.
You can see from his build that Joey was a football player and he's going to take his talents to Catholic University. Another great pitch by Frank. You see he's settled in.
Yeah, he seems really composed.
So 0-2. Nobody on, 1 out for Joey Gentile. Frank out of the wine. He kicks and delivers. High fastball. And the count is 1-2. Again, high fastball, 2-2. So it's even on Joey Gentile. Others want nothing more than a clean inning. I know they plan on using multiple pitchers tonight, but still want to hopefully get Frankie through 4. Ooh, that was close. Yeah. But doesn't matter what we think, I guess.
No.
So full count to Joey Gentile, who's battled back from 0-2. Frank's got a challenge here. Out of the line, Frank delivers. Fastball fouled straight back by Joey Gentile. Just noticed there's about 11, 12 balls stuck in the backstop up there. I'm not sure if they're lacrosse or baseball, but I know if I was coaching, I'd be climbing right now or making it into a drill. Again, the count is full. The delivery by Frank. And he plucks him. Hits him in the shoulder. I think that's the 4th hit by pitch for Holliston, which has to make Coach Santos happy, turning a Hopkinton strength against them. And the batter now is T.J. Kiley. T.J. had that big single to left field in the first inning, driving in the first Panther run. So we have 1 out with a runner on first. T.J. Kiley, left-handed hitter. And let's see if we see the running game here. Ball in the dirt. Gets away from Peter Mahone, and Joey Gentile gets down to second base. So just like that, there's a runner in scoring position for T.J. Kiley, another opportunity for him. Remember, you had told us that the key was stopping that running game, one of the keys for Coach Anderson.
Yes.
The delivery. High. Seems like when he's missing, he's elevated.
Yeah, he's missing high a lot.
The delivery. There it is. So there's a strike, and the count runs to 2-1 on T.J. Kiley. T.J. was as I said, the quarterback. He's also the son of kind of legendary Holliston football coach Todd Kiley. As a younger brother on the team, was an outstanding left-handed pitcher. Frank's delivery, another great swing. What an unbelievable play by Joe Carrazza. Joe, a line drive laced to his left. Joe was actually working the cover of the second base and made a full-length dive to his left, snagged that ball. Good heads-up running by Joe Gentile to get back, but it's 2 outs. That's a game changer right there. Instead of 3-0, we're still sitting here with 2 outs. And now Teddy Peters the batter. Great play by Joey.
Yeah, tremendous. Really quick moves on that by Joe.
I'm developing an unbelievable appreciation for play-by-play announcers because I can't think of what to say while I'm watching the game. So the count is 1-0 to Teddy Peters, right-handed hitter. Fouls the ball off to the left. Will Morgan touching it. And the count runs to 1-1. Teddy is one of their um, mainstays on their pitching staff. He threw against us in the opening round last year of the state tournament. Good competitor, junior right-handed pitcher. 1-1. Checks the runner and delivers. Fastball just inside, and it's 2-1. And there's Peter again, throwing behind the runner. Nice scoop by Joe. Good communication there, Joe covering. The delivery by Frank is high. And the count now runs to 3-1. With Max Israel on deck, the first baseman, another left-handed hitter. Want to go after this righty. Big spot here for Frank. He delivers the 3-1. Fastball laced into left field. Coming on hard with Lenny Onken. Throws a strike through the cutoff man. Will Morgan to hold the runner. It's a good play by Lenny. Good job by Will. Checking the runner. Now it's first and third. Here's where you might see some action. It's the first and third situation. We got 2 outs. This is where the Hillers have to execute. So Peter Mahone calling out the first and third defense if Teddy should run. With Max Israel at the plate. Delivery. Fastball fouled to the left, up over our head, and out of play. Good run made by Lenny Onken. Important there for Frank. Gets on top at 0-1. I think if we get to a 2-strike count, I think you'll see Coach Santos start the runner at first.
Start the runner, yeah.
Try to create some havoc. Throw to first by Frank. Runner's back. Will Morgan backing up. Very solid play. Delivery by Frank is high. And the count now is 1-1. Coach flashing the signs. And the runner's off. Swing and a miss. Foul tipped, actually, off of Peter Mahone's mask. Umpire giving him a little time to settle himself. So it's 1-2. You'll likely see the runner started again here. Frank comes set. Delivers. The runner's off. Another foul tip. Dribbles off to the side of the catcher. And the count remains 1-2. So they're going to force Peter Mahone to make a decision. You know, whether he thinks he can throw through and get Teddy Peters or have to eat the ball and just go after Max Israel. The delivery. Runner's not going. Swing and a miss. Great pitch by Frank.
Big pitch by Frankie.
All in all, I think the Hillers have to be pretty happy with the amount of base runners and some of the trouble Frank's gotten into so far.
Could be worse.
Yeah, 2-0. And Frank now is up to 61 pitches after 3 innings. So he's given them, 3 solid, kept them in the ball game. We'll see if Coach runs him out for a 4th. He's leading off this inning, and we'll be back for the bottom of the 3rd. Okay, so we get here for the bottom of the third. Frank Pedisano will be leading off. Jake Schoenberg has been sharp so far. Hillers did get to him a bit in terms of pitch count in the second inning. He's 2 innings pitched, so he's only given up 1 hit, struck out 2, walked 1. And he'll face Frank Pedisano and then turn it over to the top of the order and see how the Hillers fare the second time they get a look at Jake. Fastball high, 1-0 to Frankie. Saw that well, 2-0. Frank always gives you a good at-bat. His average doesn't show it this year, but he's a competitor. 3-0. That's as good as you can start. Not much doubt he'll be taken here. Four straight.
4-pitch walk to Frankie.
To the 9-hitter.
Yeah.
Now it turns it over to Joe Carrazza. H-Cam personalities have been quite used to calling his name over all 3 seasons for the last 4 years.
Or as he likes to be called, Joseph Gene Carrazza.
Joseph Gene.
Joseph Gene, yeah.
You've had the absolute pleasure of having Joe in class, huh?
I had Joe in 2 classes. Yep.
And you're still standing.
Oh, Joe was great in class.
Yeah, he's a hard worker.
Yep.
And he takes the ball low. That's 5 in a row for Jake Schoenberg.
So you're right, Coach, about getting the Holliston pitcher out of his rhythm last inning. It seems to have kind of spilled over into this inning as well.
There he is, right there. He battles. It's first strike of the inning. Joe swings through it. It's 1-1. Runner on first, nobody out. So he's been tough on Joe. The first at bat, if you recall, was all off speed. Now he's challenging with the fastball, sitting at 1-2, and Joe's head's got to be spinning a little bit because he's seen it all, which is kind of the price you pay for being kind of the catalyst of the team.
Yeah. Being a pitcher, any pitcher I think would be terrified to have Joe on base because he can really wreak havoc.
Yep. The kick by Jake. Off-speed pitch. Joe gets a piece, dribbles to short, flip to second for 1, over to first, but Joe beats it out rather easily. So the Hillers trade one runner for the other, but as you said, now they have Joe on first, and hopefully can spark something here. Speaking of speed, this is Charlie Petruni, another Joe and he were 2 of the stalwarts on the Hopkinton football team. Charlie's a outstanding athlete, very quick. Curveball in the dirt, 1-0. At-bats are turning now. They're clearly seeing the ball much better. Time to put something up, though. Fastball up, swung through by Charlie. 1-1. Got 1 out, runner on first. Joe checking his signs. Got a healthy lead. Ball in the dirt, dribbled out front.
Tough play.
Gentile jumps up. Great throw to first base. Great stretch by Max Israel. Gets the runner, but now Joey moves up into scoring position. And the torch is passed to Mitch Simulus, who's been a key contributor all year. This is why you're in the 3-hole. Protected by his brother, so I don't think they're going to want to pitch around him too much with Charlie sitting on deck. So great opportunity for the Hillers to cut the lead in half. See how much attention Joe gets from Jake. Quite a bit. Fastball's up. You see that split attention there with Joey on second. You know, you want to concentrate on the hitter, but you got, at this point, I would tell him to focus at home. Another fastball up, 2-0. He's quick to the plate.
Yeah, I think he'd be okay under the Major League pitch clock, huh?
Yes. Joe takes off for third, throw is high, and he slides in. That's what he can do.
There's what Joe does.
That's the thing. Most guys would say, why are you stealing third base with 2 outs? Because you see how close that came to going into left field and giving the Hillers a run.
Sure.
Stole that without a problem. So obviously he'll score on any signal. Curveball swung through. You know, the conventional wisdom is no different being on second or third. I disagree with that because back of your head here, you don't want to bounce a curveball. And there's the curveball. Right, you might tend to keep it up a little bit. You don't want to bounce it with a runner on third. Plus, you got to stare right at Joe. Full count right now. This would be a great situation. Ball away, and the Hillers are on to something here. We have runners on first and third. Good speed on both bases. Charlie Simulus coming up. Sorry.
Oh, no, so. And the pitch count's probably climbing a bit on the Panther pitcher.
Yeah, he's up to 46 pitches. So these, after a 7-pitch first inning, he's still in good shape for himself. But after a 7-pitch first inning,
yeah,
they really worked.
Kind of skews it a bit. Yeah.
Big spot here for Charlie. So another ball. Charlie sitting at 1-0. Sitting on a fastball here, I'm sure. There he gets it. It's high. And the count runs to 2-0. If Coach Anderson's thinking anything like me, he's going all green light right here. That's the interesting thing. So it's 3-0 right here. You got your 4-hitter. I'm giving them all green. And evidently I'm not in the norm here because he took one right down the middle. It's 3-1. So 3-1 delivery to Charlie. The delivery laced. Oh. Line drive. Thought it was going through the middle. Snagged by Jake Schoch. That's the second time he's pulled himself out of a fire by playing great defense. That time he didn't need to tip it to his brother. He made the play himself.
Panther pitchers made a lot of good defensive plays today for himself. Good athlete.
And fortunate he didn't get hurt there. That was a laser beam right back to the box. So the Hillers generated some base runners that inning. Had quality at-bats, but the score still sits after 3 innings at 2-0. We'll be back in a minute.
Frankie's coming back out, Coach.
Yes, I think the objective was to get 4 out of him. If he could get through this inning, he's done his job. This is a really good hitting lineup. They've generated a lot of runs. So leading off is a 9-hitter, Sam Schoenberg. 9-1-2 for Holliston in the 4th. Fastball from Frank is up. 1-0. Always edgy when the 9-hitter leads off. As a defensive coach, you want to get this guy. You don't want to have a guy on base turning it over to the top. Fastball well hit up the middle. Dylan Ruff. Beautiful play by Dylan Ruff with the ball dropped by Charlie Simulus. That's an E3. That's a tough play. So just tipped off his glove. Great throw by Dylan Ruff. Runner on first. Nobody out in the top of the order, and the guy that always unnerved me, Andrew Dennison. Leadoff walks and leadoff errors, not something you want to do as a pitcher?
No. Coach Pinolo always used to, those were his pet peeves. Walks would kill, he would say. Walks will kill you.
The statistics on how often they score are incredible. Fastball dribbled down third base line. Will Morgan up, throws a strike to first. Great job by Dylan Ruff covering third. But the job's done there by Dennison. It's the equivalent of a sacrifice bunt. You have a runner on second now with one out for Holliston's best hitter, Nick Larsh. Nick's going to Penn State University, and Coach Santos is really trying to encourage him to try to walk on. He's a real quality player. Like I said, if not the best player in the league, one of the best players in the whole Tri-Valley League, capable of playing in college. Now, obviously, Penn State's a Big Ten team. That's difficult, but loves the game, really good defensive player. And he takes ball one low, so it's 1-0. Runner in scoring position for Nick Larsh. Off-speed pitch, low again, 2-0. You notice a big error in the first play, and you saw Frankie's reaction. Just handled it like a...
Even keeled.
Yeah, like a leader. That's what you need out of him. Checks the runner at second. Delivers fastball high. Count now is 3-0 to Nick Larsh. Very interesting to see whether Nick gets the green light. Again, I would be all green on this hitter. Let's see what Coach Santos does. The delivery by Frank, and that's why I'm out of coaching. To me, you got your best hitter, and you know you're getting a fastball down the middle. I'm cutting loose. It's 3-1. Frank probably have to come back with another fastball here. The delivery, fastball, away. So that's ball 4, and now there's runners on first and second. For the left fielder, Brad Andriola. Right-handed hitter with one out. A lot of pressure been on this Hiller defense all day. Runners are going. Double steal. He throws to the trail runner. Slides in safely.
Yeah, everybody's safe.
So a good decision by Peter. If you know you can't get that first guy, throw into the trail runner. A lot of times that trail runner doesn't get as good a jump because he might be reacting. Looks there like Nick did get a good jump, and now it's a big spot. Second and third. Coach Anderson calls the infield in. The delivery is high to Brad Andriola. And the count now is 2-0 with runners on second and third. Bringing the infield in here shows you the respect they have for Jake Schoenberg. They don't think they're going to score a lot of runs off him. So you want to limit the damage right now. Fastball drilled to the middle. Throw home. Play at the plate. And he's out. Great job by Dylan Ruff. And a great call by Coach Anderson to bring that infield in. Rather than give up that run, right now you got a first and third situation. You got 2 outs with Owen McCarron up. So it's a great spot for Holliston. with their cleanup hitter up, and a trip to the mound by Coach Anderson. We have a lefty warming up in the bullpen and a left-handed hitter come up. This could be it if he wants to go with that matchup route. But he trusts Frank. I assumed he was gonna. My thinking there is he's saying, Frank, look who's batting. No need to give in, right? Really big moment in the game. 2-0, 2 outs. Because this game either opens up for Holliston or starts to get very frustrating for Holliston, where they could easily be up 5 or 6 runs. So let's see what happens here. Infield defense back. The kick in the dirt again hits Owen McCarron.
That's the 5th hit batter, I believe, today by Frankie, and twice for McCarron.
That is 5, isn't it?
That's 5.
It's kind of strange is that as a coach, I'm saying to myself, I'm glad he hit him, because rather than a ball up the gap and trailing by 5, you got another chance. Good hitter, Joey Gentile, but you got to force it every base, righty on righty. And he did. Fly ball down the right field line. Plenty of time for Connor Hallenbach to come under it. Oh, tips off his glove. He's calling it a foul ball.
Foul ball. It's in foul territory.
Right on the line. It's a long way away from us. But that ball tips off. Now, that could have been a Sun situation, but Connor got there, got a great jump on the ball, tips off his glove, and gives life to Joey Gentile. Another one of those moments in a game where everything could turn right here.
And again, as you pointed out earlier, Frankie's composed.
Yeah, not a word.
Didn't frustrate him at all.
Nope. Fastball high to Joey Gentile. The count now 1-1. So we've seen 3 dropped pop-ups so far.
Yeah.
Which I don't like.
No, I don't. I can't imagine you would, Coach.
So 1-1, the delivery to Gentile. Fastball a little bit up. Nowhere to put him. So he's going to have to challenge. Connor gives a great effort all the time in the outfield, so he's living and dying with this pitch, knowing he could have ended the inning. Delivery by Frank, fastball, good fastball, fouled straight back by Gentile. So it's a 2-2 count. Great moment in this game. Larsh, the potential 3rd run, leading off a 3rd. Got Owen McCarron at first, Andriola at second. 2-2 pitch by Frank is on the way. Fastball, and he hit him again. That's number 6.
Number 6.
Really, really is ironic because with Hopkinton being so well known for getting hit by pitches, and Joey and Matt often talking about this as coaches, about the importance of getting up on the plate with 2 strikes and challenging. So the score now runs to 3-0, 3-0 Holliston. Here's that guy again, TJ Kiley. Had 2 big singles so far. Throw behind by Peter Mahone. See, he loves to throw the baseball. Nice throw there. It's nice to have a catcher that's not afraid to make an error. And here's a trip to the mound. I think this will be all for Frankie with a left-handed hitter up who's already had 2 hits, if I'm not mistaken. I am mistaken. He's 1 for 2 with an RBI. And he is bringing in junior left-hander Jack Arthur. And we'll be back with Jack's stats in a minute. So on to pitch for the Hillers in a not an enviable spot with the bases loaded and 2 outs is Jack Arthur. Jack, as I said, is a junior, number 27. It's only his second appearance of the year. Is 1.2 innings on the year coming back from an injury, but he did in his first time out get a save against Medway. Very, very tough left-handed pitcher, particularly on lefties, and he's obviously brought in here to face T.J. Kiley, who's had 2 good at-bats off Frank. So Frank's done. We'll give you his numbers in a minute.
Now, Coach, you were telling me he had a very unique first varsity start for you?
Yeah, his first appearance as a varsity baseball player, not too many people can say this, Jack Arthur took the mound at a place you probably heard of, Fenway Park.
Really?
Yeah.
His first varsity inning.
First time, yeah. We made sure we got everybody in, and he took the field at Fenway Park on the mound and had a scoreless inning against probably the best team in the state, Medfield. But he's in a tough spot here. He delivers to T.J. Kiley. Fastball looked good, down. And the count runs to 1-0. The delivery by Jack. Good swing, rolled over ground ball to
Did his job.
Joe Carrazza. He did his job, absolutely. Carrazza flips to Dylan Ruff, and they're out of the inning. You have to be happy if you're at Hillers down 3-0 at this point with an incredible amount of base runners and activity for Holliston. The final line on Frankie threw 80 pitches, gave up only 3 hits, 1 strikeout, 2 walks, and 6 hit by pitches. So for a total of 8 free passes, I think you got to be happy with only giving up three runs at this point.
I would say so, Coach.
When we'll be back in a minute, and right now Jake Schoenberg has only given up 1 hit himself. He has 3 walks, so there's been some activity for the Hillers as well, and his pitch count right now is up to 51. So we'll be back for the bottom of the 4th for the Hillers in a minute. All right. We are back for the bottom of the 4th. Jake Schoenberg back on the hill for the Hillers. I'm sorry, for the Panthers. That's a big, big mistake. So far, Jake has thrown 3 innings, only given up 1 hit, 3 walks, 2 strikeouts, and 51 total pitches. He'll face leadoff hitter Connor Hallenbach right now. We have an update from the softball game across the way. Hopkinton in the 4th inning is ahead of the Holliston Panthers 5-4. And that's a really, really big game for both teams. Hopkinton needing to win out this week to make the state tournament. First pitch, driven up the middle by Connor Hallenbach. Great start for the Hillers. Yeah, that's great. I think Coach Santos got to be simultaneously very, very happy and very, very unnerved that it's only 3-0 with everything going perfectly for him. Got Dylan Ruff now at the plate, number 21. Connor with good speed on first. Jake delivers, fastball, swing, dribbler down the first base line. Nice play by Max. He takes the force. So Dylan does his job getting the runner over to second base. And again, the Hillers have a runner in scoring position with Connor Hallenbach at second and Lenny Onken to the plate. Lenny is 0 for 1 on the day. And a big opportunity to cut into the Holliston lead. The delivery, swing, tipped. Foul by Lenny Onken. Count runs to 0-1. Got activity in the Hiller bullpen right now. Drew Riesenberger. Another swing fouled away by Lenny Onken. 0-2. You'll notice the Hiller style at second base. Really active, trying to draw attention from the pitcher. I'm surprised we haven't seen a pickoff play implemented by Holliston to this point. The delivery. Fastball driven up the middle. Connor Hallenbach had to hold up initially on making the read. That's a base hit for Lenny Onken. Connor advances to third. Didn't get a great read off the bat, so couldn't score on that. So now we have first and third, and the Hillers have a lot going on again with 1 out, and the batter is Will Morgan. Will is also 0 for 1. If you recall, he had a great first at-bat, probably a 9-10 pitch at-bat.
It looks like for the first time we're going to see some action in the Panther bullpen, Coach.
And we'll get a number on that when we can, see who that might be. Fastball down and away for Will. I give a lot of credit to Will. His first start last night, facing one of the best pitchers in the league, and he's clearly seeing the ball well, giving him quality at-bats. Runner on third, less than 2 outs. Got to score Connor Hallenbach. There's a ground ball through the left side. Great play by T.J. Kiley to keep it in the infield, but there's a run. It's 3-1. RBI single for Will Morgan. And I believe we have a new hitter up. Yes. This is Nick Pedroli, sophomore Nick Pedroli, another of the 3 big contributing sophomores. He's hitting the spot that was held by Frankie Pedisano, which means that Jack Arthur will no longer be in the game and will be going to the bullpen, and Drew Riesenberger, I think Coach Anderson just confirmed that Drew will be on the mound. So you got first and second with 1 out. Nick Pedroli, good bat speed. Great spot for him right now. The delivery, fastball, up and away. Oh, called it a strike. Don't tell the coach, the umpire, I questioned him there.
I won't say a word, Coach.
But it was up and away. That was a ball. So the delivery here by Jake Schoenberg. Another fastball high, floated to the left side. Good base running by Lenny. And Will Morgan to get back to the bag. Caught by T.J. Kiley. And we have 2 outs and the top of the order. So here's the spot you want Joey Carrazza in. He's been the offensive catalyst for 2 years. Got an opportunity here with the runner in scoring position.
I think Joey's due here, Coach.
Yeah, he hasn't seen the ball great off Jake, who's really pitched him tough. There's that curveball again. So we saw the first at-bat, he threw him all curveballs. The second at-bat, predominantly fastballs, and now he starts off with the curve. Joey's seen everything at this point. It's a matter of looking for something and driving it. The delivery, fastball, popped up, off to the right side. That could be a... Seems like cars went unscathed.
Oh, I didn't see any broken glass.
We parked sufficiently like a mile away.
Right.
Not that you would notice a dent on my car. The delivery in the dirt. Ball gets away. Scoots to the backstop. Catcher can't find it. Lenny about halfway down. If you didn't have Joey at the plate, he might have taken a shot there. But now it's an opportunity here for Joey Carrazza to tie the game up with 2 outs. Both runners will get an outstanding jump. Base hit will tie this up.
Big spot here for Joey, Coach.
Yep, and it's 2 balls and no strikes or 1 strike. I'm not sure. Fastball dribbled down the first baseline. Another opportunity for Schoenberg. And 1-3. So another opportunity goes by the wayside, but the Hillers do cut into the Holliston lead. And at the end of 4 innings of play, the score is Holliston Panthers 3 and Hopkinton 1. We'll be back in a minute. All right, we're ready to go here. Okay, so we're back for the top of the 5th, and at this point, amazingly, Hopkinton is out hitting Holliston 4-3, but there's difficult to account for 6 hit by pitches and 2 walks. So, Hopkinton has done the job offensively, just haven't had the clutch hits, and I got to think you got to feel pretty lucky with 3 hits and 8 free passes. 11 runners and only 3 runs.
We got a new pitcher here for the Hillers, Coach?
Yes, it's Drew Riesenberger. He has 10 innings pitched on the year. He's given up 6 runs, only 4 earned runs. And the big thing pointed out by Coach Anderson is only 1 walk on the year.
Yes, I remember him telling you that. It's tremendous.
And that's going to be needed today. So the leadoff hitter is Teddy Peters, number 16. Drew with his first pitch. Drew is a big, tall, right-handed junior pitcher. You see he has a little bit of a 3/4 arm slot. Ball 2. I hope focusing on the fact that Drew's only walked 1 guy didn't put a little pressure on him. Great swing there by Teddy. Diving stop to the inside. What a
play. Wow.
That is a great play by Joey Carrazza. Backhander up over the second base back. Scrambles to his feet and throws a strike. It's good to see him be able to throw like that. He's had arm trouble, which has kept him from playing a lot of defense. But that's a big-time college play right there.
Tremendous.
I flumbled over it, but it was a line drive right up the middle that he dove, scrambled, threw back across his body.
Stole a hit there, hey, Coach?
He certainly did. And what you have here is, I believe this is Max Israel, the first baseman. He's had a really good defensive game. Drew battled back there. It's 1 ball, no strikes. Pitch high, 2-0. Another pitcher that works really, really quickly, moves the game along. That was a great pitch. Tailing fastball down, all ready to go. I think you might see some of these Holliston pitchers stepping out. The delivery by Drew, another fastball. Hard to tell from here, but it looks like an awful lot of movement. Count now is 2-2 on Max Israel, the first baseman. Delivery is high, and the count runs full. Delivery by Drew. Fastball, another ground ball through the 4-hole by Joey Cry. Couldn't get to that one. Good at-bat by Max Israel. And with the 9-hitter Sam Schoenberg coming up, there's a runner on first with 1 out for Holliston. Again, we go back to what you mentioned earlier about trying to control the running game. Let's see what Holliston does to apply some pressure. The delivery, good swing, banged off his foot. See a lot of the guys wearing a lot of the armor now, but he doesn't seem to have anything on. Fouled that off his left foot.
They had a lot of armor back when you played, Coach.
Yeah. I was happy that my dad bought me a glove, and he didn't buy me a glove. The delivery, another one, chopped in front of the mound. Will Morgan comes up and makes a tremendous play, but just safe. Sam Schoenberg got down the line quickly. That was a good job by Will Morgan. Not much he can do. A dribbler down the left, down the third base line. Good communication with him and Drew to not collide there. But Holliston's got it going again with the top of the order up. First and second, 1 out. And there's another tough situation with Andrew Dennison. They've held Andrew in check right now. He has a ground ball RBI, but he's 0 for 3 on the day, and very infrequent that you keep this kid from sparking some offense. We have some more action right now in the bullpen, and that is hit by pitch number what?
7.
Number 7. Okay. And it seems like we could rerun this game over and over again. Another hit by pitch, another bases loaded situation, and another opportunity for Holliston to break it open. And again, who's up? Their top hitter, Nick Larsch. There's only so many times you can get through this. So the count is 1-0 on Nick Larsch, who I remind you is hitting over 500. Had a bunch of opportunities. He's 0 for 2 today. The delivery, driven, backhand knocked down by Dylan Ruff. He throws across the diamond. Too late to get the speedy Nick Larsch. A good play by Dylan Ruff, but a run is driven in. And it's 4-1. It's been a slow, steady, methodical accumulation of runs for Holliston. And now the number 3 hitter, Brad Andriola, is 0 for 2 on the day. Middle infield is back, playing for the double play. Corners are in. Big moment again in the game. Delivery by Drew. Fastball for a strike. A little delayed call there by Mr. Whalen. Score sits at 4-1. 1 out, bases juiced again for Holliston. The delivery by Drew. Tailing two-seam fastball, swung over by Brad Andriola. And the count runs to 0-2. So big spot. This really, really would be a beneficial time to get a strikeout here. Get your defense back. The pitch. And it looked up and away to me, but a call, third strike. That is an outstanding job by Drew Riesenberger.
That did look a little high, Coach, but that's not what the ump saw.
No. Well, here we are again. How many times have I said this? It's bases loaded, and Owen McCarron is up. Big, powerful left-handed hitter. Got him to fly out last time. Swing deep down the left field line.
I believe he leads the team in hit by pitch today, Coach.
He's been hit by pitch 2 of his 3 at-bats, correct?
He has.
Flew out.
Yeah, he has.
And I believe doing so again would generate an RBI. So it's bases loaded. And again, I think I said earlier that it wasn't a bad thing to hit him the last 2 times. My apologies to the McCarron family for talking about their son that way. They know I care about him. So 0-1 delivery from Drew. Fastball up. Top of the strike zone. Strike one. They're not getting a good look at this. He has a difficult 3/4 arm slot. Ball's clearly moving. 0-2. Big pitch right here. Ball tails away. Taken by Owen McCarron. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Huge moment in the game here. Huge moment for the league title. Huge moment for state rankings. Drew Riesenberg against Owen McCarron. The delivery. Laced down the right field line. Just foul. That would have cleared the bases.
That would have cleared the bases, Coach. Just missed.
So it sits at 4-1. Could have 1 foot away from 7-1. Instead, it's 1-2. Base is still loaded. Crushed that ball.
He did.
Drew looking in at the signs. Comes set. The delivery. Swing and a miss. What an outstanding job by Drew Riesenberger. So I sound like I'm a broken record, but at the end of 4.5 innings of play, the score sits at 4-1, Holliston. And I don't know about you, Coach, but it feels like an 8-1 game to me.
Could be easily 8-9-1.
But great job by the Hiller pitchers. Great job defensively. And we'll be back to see what the Hillers can generate in the bottom of the 5th in just a minute. Okay, so we're back for the bottom of the 5th. Jake Schoenberg returns to the mound. He's 64 pitches in. He's been pretty efficient, particularly after the first, giving up 4 hits, 3 walks, 2 strikeouts. And in the top of the 5th, Drew Riesenberger came in and did an unbelievable job getting the cleanup hitter to strike out to keep this game in reach for the Hillers. And now they have Charlie Petruni leading off. The 2-hole hits a ground ball to shortstop TJ Kiley. Comes in, charges, sets his feet, throws, and safe. Took an extra step, and Charlie Petruni, I don't think he had the respect for Charlie Speed. We talked about it earlier. That's a huge play to get that leadoff runner on. So a good play by TJ Kiley. Took probably 1 step too many before releasing. Probably didn't understand how quick Charlie would get down the line. And now Mitch Simulus comes to the plate with an opportunity to get things going again for the Hillers. The delivery by Jake. Very similar to Frankie. You notice that Jake didn't react to his teammate. Got the ball, is back to work. Ball's 1-0 right now. The delivery.
Yeah, kind of like you said earlier, Coach, with Joe Carranza really getting in a pitcher's head when he's on the base and cause a lot of havoc. I'm sure Charlie Petruni poses the same threat.
Absolutely. Facing Mitch Simulus, the Simulus brothers now. The delivery, swing, fouled off to the right side. And the count now is 1-1. So let's see if the 3rd time through the Hillers can get to Jake. Mitch is 0 for 1 with a walk. Fastball just outside. And the count sits at 2-2. Problem with the Hillers, they haven't been able to string things together. They've had base runners here and there and just haven't had the timely hit. Each team has 5 hits. The delivery by Jake. Breaking pitch stays high and the count runs full. Another big moment. Similar to the first game where the Hillers had a big 5-run inning to make a comeback. Full count right now to Mitch Simulus. The delivery. Charlie's running.
The runner.
Ball is laced. Could be in the gap. Running over. Owen McCarron makes a fine running catch in the right center gap. Throws back behind Charlie Petruni just a little bit late. Charlie did a good job. Was almost at second base by the time Owen caught that ball. Covers a lot of ground for a really big kid in right field. Made a strike back to first base.
Nice play.
So all around, well-hit ball, good play in the outfield, great scoop by Max Israel, good base running by Charlie Petruni, and we're sitting in the same situation. We got a runner on first, 1 out, and Charlie Simulus to the plate. Let's see how aggressive Coach Anderson is with wheels on first. The delivery, ground ball to short, could be 2, flip to second, Schoenberg to first, 6-4-3. Double play, a lot of excitement out of the Panther bullpen, and an optimistic start goes by the wayside for the Hillers. At the end of 5 innings of play, the score remains Holliston 4 and Hopkinton 1. We'll be back in a minute. So Drew Riesenberger heads back to the mound for his second inning of work. Across the way, we don't have an update. We'll try to get an update on the softball score, but it's quite possible that we have brother and sister on the mound for the Hillers right now, as Drew's sister is the ace of the Hopkinton softball staff. Had a big win last night, 15-14, and now they're in another tight battle with Holliston. So we're getting ready for the top of the 6th inning. It's getting late early, as they say, and the hitter leading off is the number 5 hitter, the catcher, who's still 0 for 0, doesn't have an official at bat. Another victim of hit by pitches and 1 walk, actually just hit by pitches. So see if Joey Gentile can start things off for Holliston. First pitch is high for a ball, 1-0. Oh, he got that ball in, but it was fisted into right field over the head of Joey Carrazza. Retrieved by Connor Hallenbach, and another leadoff runner for Holliston, Joey Gentile. I got to think that Coach Santos is going to spark things with small ball and get the running game going. Got TJ Kiley right now. The pitch, swung, floated in that triangle. Dylan Ruff calls off Joey Carrazza and center fielder Charlie Petruni for the first out. I'm a little surprised by that. I thought Coach would revert to a little small ball with a left-handed hitter, speedy TJ Kiley up. Let him swing away, floated it, and it's 1 out. With a runner on first for the batter, Teddy Peters. So we do have an update from the softball game where in the bottom of the 5th inning, Holliston has now taken the lead 7-6 over the hometown Hillers. Drew checks the runner at first. Count is 0-1 on Teddy Peters. See if Hopkinton can maintain contact again and survive another leadoff hitter getting on base. Ball to Peters is high. The count sits at 1-1. Drew comes set. Swing and a miss by Teddy. 1-2. Moderate lead by Joey Gentile at first. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The delivery. Swing fouled back by Teddy Peters. The count remains at 1-2. I think a lot of the reason why we're not seeing a lot of running game is these pitchers are very, very quick to the plate, very conscious of holding runners.
Yeah, he seems to have a real smooth delivery, Coach.
Yep, using the slide step. Ball high there to Teddy Peters. It's 2-2. Quick timeout as the ball comes flying in from the bullpen. The delivery. Swing, fouled off again to the right side. Great job by Drew and a great job by Teddy Peters to keep battling. You'll hear the constant refrain from Coach Santos. He's constantly telling his players to compete, to compete, compete. That's his mantra. The delivery, just high. Teddy almost committed to that, but runs the count full. Big pitch here. Let's see if he trusts Teddy Peters and puts the runner in motion. I think he probably will. He delivers. He doesn't. And the ball is high. Ball 4. So another good opportunity for Max Israel, who's 1 for 2. He's had a really good game. He's scored 2 runs. He's walked, struck out once. And he's up now with runners on first and second with 1 out. The number 8 hitter in the lineup. The delivery, again high. 1 ball, no strikes. As the count now runs to 2-0, we have an update from Hiller softball. We're trying to keep an eye on that. It's a very big game. 3-run double by Hopkinton to now take a 9-7 lead. Fastball for a strike on the outside corner by Drew Riesenberger. Count runs to 2 balls, 1 strike. Important for the infielders to, I want to say, get dirty like our coaches used to say, keep the ball in the infield, but you don't get dirty on the carpet anymore.
That's true, yeah. Might get a rug burn, but don't have to throw the old uniform into the wash.
No. Moms and dads probably happy about that
Yeah.
now. The delivery, swing, tipped, just got a piece of that one, fouled back. Count now is full. Interesting to see if he trusts his batter to put the ball in play and starts these runners. Coach Santos well down the line preparing the swing and a miss. Great job by Drew Riesenberger. It looked like a tailing fastball, swung through it. And another incredible moment here. Hillers seem to be hanging by a thread all day. It's 4-1. Runners on first and second, 2 outs. Number 9 hitter Sam Schoenberg is up. Sam's 2 for 3 on the day. The delivery, lofted into right field. That's in that triangle again. Will it go foul? Great run by Connor Hollenbeck again, but just foul. Covers a lot of ground in right field. Connor wants to make up for the ball that tipped off his glove earlier. And Caroline DeSimone for Hopkinton just hit a 3-run homer to put the Hillers up 12-7 on the softball diamond. Caroline will be playing her college softball at Colby College next fall. Fastball in for a strike, and Drew Riesenberger runs this count to 0-2. Time to dig in for Drew. Somebody to make a big play. Got to force it every base. 0-2 to Sam Schoenberg. The delivery swung again, lofted down the right field line, drifting foul. Again, a great run by Connor Hollenbeck. Sam working hard to extend the at-bat. Connor has probably lost about 12 pounds today. He seems to be running into that triangle every inning twice. He's got his hands on his knees right now. So the 0-2 delivery coming up from Drew Riesenberger. Kicks and fires. High. Boy, that looked like another possible hit by pitch coming up.
Yeah. That would be number 8.
Yeah. Not nearly a record yet, but it's getting there. The delivery, ground. That's the second time we've seen Sam foul one off his left ankle. This one looks like it's a little bit more painful. Walking it off. He took a direct hit. I think there's a little smile on his face. So he's ready to step back in. Coach Santos checking on his sophomore second baseman. He's okay. We're ready to get going. You can see why Drew only has one walk. He certainly pumps strikes. The kick, the delivery. Line drive laced up the middle, cut off by Charlie Petruni, who throws it home. Play at the plate, just wide, throw to second base.
God.
And Sam Schoenberg is upset, but tagged out. A little bit of a disagreement between the Holliston first base coach Jimmy Perry and the base umpire. They're not happy with the call, but Sam Schoenberg drives that ball up the middle, drives in another Panther run, and they will now go to the bottom of the 6th inning up 5-1. So an outstanding 3-hit afternoon for Sam Schoenberg. Drives in that run, a great at-bat, extended it. And I'm sure his brother's very happy with him to give him a little bit more of a cushion as Jake is back on the mound. Jake now is up to 72 pitches, still well within the limits. And we'll probably stay here between innings. So, Coach, I know you're entering next year will be your 31st year teaching at Hopkinton.
Yes, Coach.
So,
as will it be your 31st year of teaching here at Hopkinton?
Yeah, I started when I was 4, so I'm a little younger than you.
I was 5 and a half.
But you also have a history of some coaching at Hopkinton. Tell us about that.
Yeah, years ago, when I started teaching, I was interested in coaching baseball. I coached a little bit in youth leagues in Bellingham, and I applied for the job as the middle school baseball coach. And I was interviewed by a guy named Coach Simos,
Really?
who I now sit next to. So you interviewed me for my first coaching job. And for some
And I gave you the
strange
job.
reason, you gave me the job. So
Wow.
I'm guessing nobody else applied.
I never really said that, but no, you were the only applicant. But, sometimes that's the break you need.
Yeah, wow.
And then what else?
Then I was lucky enough, Coach, after a couple of years of coaching middle school baseball, I got to be hired as your assistant, not only coaching with you on the baseball diamond, which was a pleasure and an honor, and years later I got to be your assistant again, coaching varsity girls softball, which I know you and I had a great time doing, and had a lot of good times doing that with the coaching the girls softball as well.
Yeah. So the people are probably interested why we keep reporting on the softball outcome down there. Besides them, many of them being our students, I think I could speak for both of us. That was probably the 5 of the best years we ever had coaching when we coached the softball team.
It sure was, Coach.
Yeah, that was a really great time.
And behind us, of course, is the older softball field that we had a lot of good memories on, and really cherish those.
So ground ball by Connor Hallenbeck to third base. Nick Larsch, a great defensive play. He's a big-time fielder. That's the kid I said I think should try to walk on at Penn State. 5'3", and very big for Jake Schoenenberg getting that leadoff hitter. So it's 1 out. Base is clear. Bottom of the 6th inning, and Dylan Ruff is up. Curveball low. So you were mentioning the field behind us, and you and I were reading the plaque earlier. Really an incredible tribute. It's named after a former student of ours who unfortunately passed away in 1994.
Yes, of course, Coach. We had as a student Lauren Anderson, whom the scoreboard is and the field are named after.
Yeah, she was a wonderful girl. It's amazing how long ago that's been, and it's great to see her memory still kept alive. The softball team sports jackets with her initials on it. Still had a ceremony recently honoring her and rededicating this field. So she was a wonderful contributor in Hopkinton softball, cheerleader, great student, great sister and daughter. Line drive down the right field line by Dylan Ruff. That's going to get in the corner and rattle around. Probably hold up at second, trailing by 4 runs at this point, but that's a great spark. Line drive, and the Hillers are back in business. So we have a runner on second, trailing 5-1 with 1 out, and the batter now is Lenny Onken. Jake Schoenberg delivers. Fouled back by Lenny Onken. Lenny on the day, let me double check on this, is 1 for 2. Had some good at-bats. Right now, Jake is up in the mid-80s in his pitch count, but still seems to be throwing the ball hard. The delivery gets away high. The count is 1-1. So what the Hillers have to hope to do now at base level is to get into the Holliston bullpen, right? Jake's obviously had a great outing, but you never know what you could do if you could get into that bullpen. And pitches like that are really, really beneficial, just fouling him off, upping his pitch count, trying to see if they could generate some activity down there.
So, Coach, as a coach, what would make you start to put somebody up in the bullpen now, or would you hold off?
Yeah, I would. At this point, I'd have, and it's quite possible their guys ready, but I would definitely have somebody ready to go at any moment. These are 2 of the more conservative coaches in the area in terms of pitch count, so I got to think Jake is getting towards his limit. I know Coach Anderson keeps kids around a max of around 80. And a lot of times when pitchers are getting tired, you'll see them missing up, and you're clearly seeing that now with Jake. Count is 2-2 on Lenny Onken. Not a lot of outs left. Got to get Dylan Ruff home at minimum. And another fastball up, but he beats Lenny Onken, and it's 2 down with a runner on second base. So continuing with the Lauren Anderson thing, I think you and I took our classes by, and I was actually surprised by it too. The tree we had planted for Lauren in 1994 was about waist high at the time, and we went by a couple of weeks ago, and it's now higher than the building.
Yeah, I know that's been a tradition for you, Coach, to take your classes by there and just for walks and to tell Lauren's story to a lot of your classes as they come through over the years, which is pretty important.
Yep. So the delivery now to Will Morgan, again high. And the count runs to 2-0. That's about 6 or 7 pitches that Jake has left up, which is probably a sign that we're nearing the end of his pitch limit. See what he's up to in real time here. I don't know how to do that, but good swing by Will, lofted to center field. Dennison camped under it, makes the play. And we're heading to the 7th with Holliston still maintaining a 5-1 lead. We'll be back in a few with the 7th inning. Okay, so we're back for the top of the 7th. New pitcher on the mound for Hopkinton is Derek Catherley. He's a junior right-handed hard thrower. And it's a good time for Coach Mulvey to revisit the keys to the game.
Well, Coach, when we talked to both coaches before the game, of course, both of them talked about limiting damage, but also key to the game being defense. And you pointed out a very important stat for the Holliston Panthers, and that is
no errors.
No errors.
Coming off 7 yesterday. I think we mentioned that earlier. So Coach Anderson said we got to put the ball in play. Coach Santos says we have to make the plays. Both teams have done it, and you're seeing the results right now, at least at 5-1.
Yeah.
So I think we have the top of the order once again for Holliston, Andrew Dennison. The Hillers have basically kept him in check, and he's their engine. The leadoff hitter can really fly. He's 0 for 3 today with an RBI ground out. Derek Catherley has really been dominant when he's thrown strikes. He's had a little bit of control problem throughout the year, but you can see he has a really, really strong arm. And he jumps ahead of Andrew 0-1. The delivery, slider down and away, tipped away by Andrew Dennison, and it's quickly 0-2. We have a change, I'm noticing, at third base. I believe that's Ray Robichaud, number 4, senior, in the game for Will Morgan. Another kid who I could not speak more highly of. I got a chance to coach Ray last year. Quiet, leader, and this is a direct quote from Coach Anderson yesterday or 2 days ago when I was able to attend practice. He says, "I wish I had 22 Rays." Not a better thing you could say about a player. That's strike 3, looking at a curveball, and a great start for Derek Catherley.
Yeah, that's a pretty great praise.
Yeah, he's just a solid, quiet young man who just gives you a great effort. So the leadoff hitter again is retired. 0 for 4 on the day for Andrew Dennison, and here is Nick Larsh. Great swing by Nick on a fastball, but it's 0-1. He fouls it straight back. Nick is 0 for 3 on the day. Here's an interesting stat for you, Coach.
All right.
The top 4 hitters who we praised going into the game for Holliston. I'll wait for after this pitch. Foul down the left field line. The top 4 hitters for Holliston are 0 for 12. The bottom 5 hitters have 7 hits, all 7 hits. So not always the way things are planned, but that's how you win baseball games, where you get contributions throughout the lineup, bottom of the order, picking up the top of the order. Delivery by Derek. Slider down. Do we have another hit by pitch?
Almost, Coach.
Oh.
Almost.
I shouldn't be rooting for a record, but it's kind of interesting. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Nick Larsh. 1 out, nobody on. Top of the 7th. Five runs on 7 hits and no errors for Holliston. 1 run on 6 hits and 2 errors for the Hillers. The pitch again, down. And the count runs to 2-2 on Nick Larsh. Kick and delivery. Fastball, strike, no doubt about it. Nick walked to the dugout. That was a hard fastball on the outside corner. Hillers throw the ball around the infield, and 2 up, 2 down for Derek Hatherley in his 7th inning. And now the number 3 hitter for Holliston steps to the plate. It's Brad Andriola. It really is an amazing stat. 0 for 13 now with the top 4 hitters in the Holliston lineup. If I told you that and then told you they'd be up 5-1, I think you'd thought I was out of my mind.
Yeah, that would not have made sense, Coach.
Fastball down, 1-0. Ray Robichaud respecting Brad's speed. He's in on the grass, well in with 2 outs. Delivery. Over the top, hard throwing right-hander. 3-0. Got to concentrate here, Derek, and challenge this hitter with Owen McCarron on deck. Fastball in. That's a 4-pitch walk and forces you to face the big lefty one more time. Kind of got away with stuff, if you recall. He hit a couple of rocket laser beams foul. But you're tempting fate every time you allow Owen to come to the plate. I see the St. Anselm's baseball coaches are here today. Fastball threw that by him. Big cut, but beaten by the velocity. So the St. Anselm coaches are here today. 2 of their players, as I said, Jake Schoenberg and Owen McCarron, are going there, but they're also looking at Charlie Petruni of the Hillers, who has some family lineage and interest in St. Anselm's. Fastball. Runner goes. He's in safely as the ball pops out of Peter Mahone's hand, and he goes into second base uncontested. So there's a runner in scoring position for Owen McCarron. The count is 0-2. I think this is going to be challenge, hardball challenge, fastball on fastball. There it is, fastball fouled straight back. Not sure how many times he'll go to that well. He's seen now 3 or 4 fastballs. This is a great opportunity with a runner on second to bounce a curveball. Even if it gets away from your catcher, runner still goes to third. But he challenged him with a fastball. Thank goodness he didn't listen to me. It's strike 3. Owen swings through it. And at the end of 6.5 innings of play, the score is Holliston 5, Hopkinton 1, coming up for their last opportunity to beat Jake Schoenberg. Let's see if he returns to the mound before we head off. He is. Jake Schoenberg is back on the mound. And we have a report from the softball field. It's a final. The Hopkinton Hillers defeat the Holliston Panthers 13-8. Huge win. They're now 2 wins away from clinching a spot in the state tournament. And that's back-to-back wins against TVL large rivals in the last 2 nights. So congratulations to Coach Alberry and the girls team, and hopefully they can complete the run the rest of the week. We'll be back in about 30 seconds for the bottom of the 7th inning. Okay, so we are back for the Hillers' final shot today to get at Jake Schoenberg. He is up to 89 pitches. Nice clean line today. Jake has 6 full innings pitched, 6 hits, 1 run, 1 earned run, 3 walks, and 3 strikeouts. His next pitch, as we said, will be his 90th. And the Hillers will start off with Derek Hatherley, who's the number 9 hitter, and a really big opportunity to jumpstart the Hillers and lead us into the top of the order. So the first pitch by Jake is down low. 1-0 on Derek Hatherley. Ball too high. I didn't mention this earlier, but the Schoenberg family is important for my family in that their dad is a highly acclaimed physical therapist, shoulder expert. Ground ball to Nick Larsch, cannon over the first, 5-3. 1 up, 1 down for the Hillers, and Jake Schoenberg is 2 outs away from a complete game victory. So their dad worked with both my sons, Timmy and Steven, rehabbing their shoulders. He's highly acclaimed. He works for Cressy Performance down in Florida now, and fortunately he was able to get up and see his son pitch today. So great family, really talented physical therapist, and 2 talented sons.
Oh, that's great.
So ground ball by Joe Carranza. If it stays fair, it's a hit. Just trickles foul. Nick Larsch going hard to touch it, foul. And he jumps ahead of Joe Carranza 0-2. He's been tough on Joe all day. Joe is 0 for 3 with a strikeout. And Joe's kind of reaped the unfortunate rewards of being a key hitter. He's seen every pitch in every count. Not afraid to throw backwards and really keeping Joe guessing today. So it's 0-2. He's going to have to battle here. The delivery, curveball in the dirt. Joe sees it, stays off. It's 1-2. You got to think Joe getting on base is critical if there's going to be any chance for the Hillers to make a late inning comeback.
Yeah, he's going to have to be a catalyst.
Another breaking ball away. Count runs to 2-2. Certainly doesn't want to give a free pass. You got to think Joe's going to get a fastball right here. It's going to be a challenge pitch. The delivery, fastball, up, 3-2. Now Joe's got to dig in. See it below your hands. Time it up. You're getting a fastball. He's not going to screw around with breaking stuff here. It's going to be a challenge. Fastball. Joe drives it deep to right field. Owen Karen going back. Has a beat on it, makes a play. Well hit by Joe, but that's a fly out to right field, and Holliston is 1 out away from clinching a critical Tri-Valley League victory, and I believe clinching at least a share of the title. I don't believe they can be caught, and if my statistics are correct, I believe they will be Tri-Valley League large champs with 1 more out. Ground ball to the shortstop by Charlie Petruni, picked up by TJ Kiley. throws to first, 6-3, complete game victory for Jake Schoenberg. Outstanding defensive clean game by the Holliston Panthers. Great pitching performance by Jake Schoenberg. Clutch hitting by the bottom of the Holliston lineup. And the final score from Hopkinton High School is the Holliston Panthers 5, the Hopkinton Hillers 1. So the teams run. I want to close out by giving you these stats. The teams close out. Hopkinton falls to 8-6 in the Tri-Valley League, 10-6 overall. Holliston jumps to 12-2 in the Tri-Valley League. And I believe still have an outside shot of being caught by Medfield. They are 13-6 overall. A well-played game by Holliston. Some early mistakes by Hopkinton, but generally a really solid game by two very talented teams. Thank you for bearing with my partner, Brett Mulvey, and myself as we attempt to do this for the first time. Brett, thank you for joining tonight.
My pleasure, Coach, and thank you for having me.
And we're going to sign off now. Good night, everybody.